Hey everybody, another week has passed and that means it's time for another installment of Jack's Interesting Facts. I'm Jack Lombardo, ready to open my vault of useless information and tell you some interesting facts about television sitcoms. Here we go. Now, right off the bat, one of the most popular sitcoms of the 1980s into the 1990s, Married with Children. Now, this show came about when producers had an idea of what would it be like if Sam Kinison was married to Roseanne Barr. They thought about that and started writing the script. Now, of course, Ed O'Neill and Katie Seagal ended up playing Alan Pegg, but Kinison and Barr were originally offered the roles, but both turned it down. Now, I like Married with Children the way it is, but it would have been pretty interesting to see Kinison and Roseanne Barr in those roles. And as far as other people that could have lost out on roles, Henry Winkler almost walked out on his audition for the Fonz on Happy Days. Why? Because another actor walked in that he thought was perfect to play the part of the Fonz. And when he saw this actor walk in, he thought for sure that that guy would get the role and he had no chance. Who was that actor? Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. And you know, it does make sense because I have heard the original plans for the Fonz is they always pictured him as a tall blonde man. It's just that Henry Winkler walked in, did so well, he got the part and became an icon. Another character that almost didn't get his part was Jim Parsons on The Big Bang Theory. He was not too thrilled when he went in to read for the role on Big Bang Theory because he thought he was actually auditioning for a television game show. He had never heard of Chuck Lorre and thought he was going in to audition for Chuck Woolery, the longtime host of The Dating Game. He got there, realized he was reading for Sheldon, nailed it, and we got him on Big Bang Theory for several years and several Emmys. And continuing right along, other kind of goofy shows, I think Big Bang Theory was a little goofy. Gilligan's Island. Now, Dawn Wells and Natalie Schafer, who played Mary Ann and Mrs. Howell, became very good friends in the show. They had a sort of mother-daughter relationship, and they became so close that later in life, when Natalie Schafer was dying of cancer, Dawn Wells actually moved her into her home and took care of her as if she was her own mother until her dying day. And shifting from Gilligan to a more classic sitcom, Gilligan's kind of a classic, but this one is one of the classics, I Love Lucy. And don't we all? But on I Love Lucy, it was not only allowed for people to smoke, it was actually required that people smoke in every episode. You see, I Love Lucy almost didn't get on the air because as it was coming time for the show to be produced, they did not have a sponsor. And they say, in the industry, the 11th hour. In the 11th hour, Philip Morris, the cigarette company, stepped in and said that they would produce the show, they would sponsor the show I Love Lucy, but the characters would have to be either smoking, well, definitely smoking, and also talking about Philip Morris cigarettes in every episode of the show. And that went on for the entire run of I Love Lucy. And sticking with other iconic shows, All in the Family. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. Now, Archie Bunker and All in the Family was known for challenging the norms of the time, for being a little controversial, and they had a toy that came out that went along with this controversy and challenges, the Joey Stivic doll. See, when Archie had a grandson, Mike and Gloria's son, Joey Stivic, they released a doll, the Joey Stivic doll, right on the box, Archie's grandson, Joey Stivic. Now, parents were very surprised as they opened up this doll and realized that it was the very first ever anatomically correct doll. If you don't know what that means, it means his little Stivic was right there between his legs, yeah. You get the idea. And another iconic show, maybe not as much as All in the Family and I Love Lucy, but one several people tend to love, The Brady Bunch. Now, you might be interested to know that because of the happy themes of The Brady Bunch, they never once showed rain on the show. It never rained one day, not one time. It's also interesting to note that even though Alice was seen in the kitchen very often, she was never once seen eating at any time on the show, which pretty much might explain why she didn't have her own bathroom or any bathroom at all to speak of. And my dog over here wants to get involved in the show. So everybody say, hi, Mozart. Shh. Thank you. And shifting from the Brady Bunch to an iconic show of the 80s, Alf. See, Alf became so popular in the country of Germany that he actually became one of their biggest pop stars having 2 top 40 albums and 4 top 40 hits. So, yeah, Alf, rock on. And shifting from there, Kramer on Seinfeld. It's interesting to note that Kramer's character wore the exact same shoes in every episode of Seinfeld. He wore a pair of brown Doc Marten boots. Luckily, he did have 2 pairs, but it was 2 pairs of the exact same kind of shoe. And shifting from there to Full House. Now, you might be interested to learn that the dog on Full House, Comet, was actually the original dog from the Air Bud movies. The dog was shooting baskets, was now running through the Tanner household. And I guess he had a pretty good career for a dog. I mean, I wouldn't mind having it. And to close things out, that 70s show. It might be interesting to know, they never did mention Fez's name. A lot of people might have thought his name was Fez, but that actually wasn't the case. Fez was a nickname, and it had nothing to do with his real name. The name Fez, F-E-S, actually stood for what his character was, a foreign exchange student. F-E-S, foreign exchange student. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again next Saturday with another installment of Jack's Interesting Facts. In the meantime, click subscribe, share it, get people to watch this. I appreciate the 30 of you that are watching, but I'd like those numbers to go up a bit and maybe get some more people watching, and maybe get some sponsors and do a little something with this show, because I have a blast with it and I need to do something to get rid of this useless information in my mind. Again, I'm Jack Lombardo, and I will see you next week again as you hear some of Jack's Interesting Facts. Bye now.